Good morning to everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ndumodu. What a pleasure to have you here. For those who do not know, Ndumodu is long life to all of you, good tidings to all of you, words of wisdom to all of you, words to live by and work with. I am Dr. Onyioha Osimiri, and I'm your host on the Ndumodu show. Ndumodu is a powerful word in Igbo Nigerian language. For those who listen, it means wisdom. And these are words that I'm going to share with you today that you can add to your repertoire. I want to thank you for inviting me into your home. I promise you that you will not regret the gesture. Ndumodu. We have a wonderful segment for you today. This is part 2 of our segment on the importance of political engagement. Last week, we asked the question, how is democracy working for the Nigerian woman? Today, however, our focus is on how the Nigerian woman is using political engagement to influence political culture in the United States. Africans are a small but speedily expanding immigration population in the United States of America. Nigerians, who comprise the major group, structure a well-organized group with various tribal, homeland, and collective organizations. Through some of these organizations, numerous Nigerians have effectively succeeded in the financial and collective development and political processes of their homelands. Their political involvement in the U.S. enabled this participation in the United States. To aid us in this discussion today, we have invited the members of a very auspicious occasion, of which I am proudly a member, the Nigerian Women for Progress Incorporated, NGWFP, a collective aimed at growing the political awareness, involvement, and influence of Nigerians in the United States. Their purpose is to stand up for their children and families by supporting candidates with common beliefs and a strong vision for positively impacting the communities they live and thrive in. They are action-oriented and think in a progressive manner, therefore have adopted the nickname Mavericks. You know what Mavericks are? A maverick is somebody who does something different from other people, and that's what these women do. Their efforts have been instrumental in the successful campaigns of numerous Nigerians and other members of the American community running for office in the United States. Joining me today are 4 members of the Mavericks. The first, the president and founder, Chief Mrs. Ego Ndukwe, born in Abriba and raised in Aba, Abia State, Nigeria. She's the president CEO of Another Chance Rehabilitation Services Incorporated. She's the president owner, Another Chance Nigeria, and founding member of Nigerian Women for Progress. She's the co-founder and former president of Mumuney cultural organization here in the United States. It is indeed my honor and my pleasure to welcome our president. Hello, Chief. How are you?
I am great. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you. You look better than I do. But I take solace in somebody looks good. Good to have you.
I can look better than you, Dr. Owa. It's so good to see you this morning.
It is indeed a pleasure. And now it's my pleasure to welcome our next guest, Chief Financial Officer Ego Okafor. Oge was born in Nigeria, but now is residing in Atlanta, Georgia with her husband. Ego taught for 30 years in both high and middle schools in the state of Georgia. She recently retired and is enjoying her best life doing what makes her happy, which includes volunteering, gardening, traveling, and she is a founding member of the Nigerian Women for Progress here again in the United States. Ego Okafor, welcome, welcome. Where are you? I can't see you. You know what? There you go. Right.
How are you?
She looks better than I do. And here you come.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Welcome. It's good to see you. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
In the midst of these wonderful, wonderful sisters. So let me introduce our next guest, the Chief Operations Officer, Ikpe-Harper. Udi is also president and CEO of Ikpe-Harper Consulting, where she concentrates on personal branding, PR coaching, speechcraft, and other services. Some of her prior clientele and roles include being the Chief Communications and Fundraising Officer for DC Shadow Representative Onyioha, I hope I'm saying it correctly. If I'm not, I do apologize, as well as managing the campaign for Karen Watkins for Gwinnett County School Board. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Udi. Udi, how are you?
Good morning, Dr. O. Thank you so much for having us on here. Hello, Chief Ego and Madam Ego. Thank you so much. I'm super excited.
It is so wonderful to have you here.
Good to see you.
Good. I want some of that hair, okay? I want some of that hair.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I believe in borrowing. We can share. We're sisters.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Now, last but not least, the Community Coordinator and Civic Engagement Officer, Dr. Bola Mumuney Tilghman. Dr. Bola operates a nonprofit organization, Millennium African Project, MAP, that seeks to educate children and college-age students in West Africa by donating books, uniforms, school uniforms, and desks to several K-12 schools and colleges in Lagos, Nigeria. She helps to bring schools up to date in technology and donates desktop and laptops to schools in Lagos. She is on the board of directors of J.D. Winston YMCA on Auburn Avenue and Glued Inc. Girls Lives ultimately empowered divinely. What a pleasure to welcome you into our midst. And where are you? There you go. Hello, Dr. Bola.
Good morning. How's everyone doing?
Oh, it's wonderful to have all of you.
See you. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you here. You all look wonderful. Let's show the world what Nigerian women look like. Okay,
That's right.
So I welcome again. Welcome, my sisters. It is a pleasure to be with you again. You know, we all get doing all kinds of things that we do. And unfortunately, we don't always get the chance to be together all the time. So it's certainly wonderful and a pleasure for me to be in your midst today. So let me start by posing this one question to the president, Chief Ndukwe. You know, numerous people launch their own companies because they see an unmet demand or a gap in the market, or because they believe they can provide a better, faster, smarter, and or cheaper solution than what's available. So let me ask you, why did you find it necessary to start this group?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. And I hope you guys are doing great, because I am. And thank God the weather is so good in DeKalb County. So yes, Dr. Owa, we really appreciate the opportunity you have given to us this morning to be able to talk about what we do and who we are. So how did we come up with this group? It's all about passion. It's all about wanting to do what is really implanted in you, like political movement is something that we Nigerians, even though we've been here so many years, went to school, the plan was to finish and go home and do and help rebuild Nigeria. Unfortunately, that's not what we discovered. We realized that we are not going anywhere, not anytime very soon. So we are here to stay for a longer time. So in order for us to make sure that our children, our grandchildren also be a part of the community where we have decided to reside, we have to do something. We have to get involved. We have to participate. We have to know and be able to choose who is going to lead us, who will be our representative, who will be our leader. That is really what pushed us to be able to do what we are doing, to make sure that we choose the right people at the right time and at the right moment. So Nigerian Women for Progress is a handpick of women that come together and say, hey, we are here and our voice must be heard, and we will be able to choose who our leaders will be.
That is wonderful. Excellent. And there's one more question for you. The midterms are coming up in November here in the United States, and so much is at stake. And women should really understand the importance of getting out there and voting. We certainly hope that many of them understand how important it is. Many people, not just women, understand how important it is for them to vote in huge numbers despite so much voting restrictions. Now, what can people do leading up to the elections in November? What would you recommend that they start doing right now?
Get involved. Get involved. Get involved by knowing, one, know who is out there, who is running. What do they believe? What have they done? What are they going to do? What are they bringing to the table? Get involved, start reading, research, find out. Thank God for internet. Thank God for the fact that we don't have to drive to get what we need. You can do it inside your bedroom. Yes. And know who you're going to vote for. Go out there, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors. Register people. We've done a lot of that. Now start talking to them about voting. You may register, but you have to be able to go out there and cast your vote. Get people to go out, donate your money, because it takes a lot of resources to be able to get the right person into the office. If you look at the people running, it's really very clear who to vote for. Really, you don't need any convincing, but that's you right. have to do it. So what you need to do is to get involved, participate, knock on the doors, take people to the voting booth.
That's right. In other words, get engaged. Don't talk about it, be about it. We do a lot of talking. It's time to move the needle. Time for us to do something. We can't talk about what people are doing to us when we allow them to do it to us, because we are the ones who put them in office.
Absolutely.
So I have a question for Okafor. Ndewo.
And they were.
You know, there are so many very good candidates running for different positions and need our support. How can the community help support these candidates? And can you name some of them? I know Chief Ego has indicated that we can go to the internet and find those things. Absolutely, those things are available to us. But do you have any names you can throw out here for us to grab onto?
Yeah, of course. But before I get to the names, can I say a few things?
Yes, please.
Yeah, and then I think to add on to what our Chief Ego Ndukwe, she's my sake, has said, is for people to make sure that they are themselves, eligible to vote. Because, with all this voter stuff that's going on, you need to make sure that your name is still out there by going to myvoter page.org and checking and make sure that you get your friends, to make sure that they are also registered to vote. Now, getting to the names, of course, we know that Senator Warnock is running for re-election, who just won the election last year? So we have to, of course, get him in there. We know he has done a lot for the state, and he talks about it. So Warnock, of course, is one of them. Of course, Stacey Abrams. I don't know why I jumped to Warnock before Stacey. Stacey Abrams, of course, we have to make sure we get her in there. Hopefully, all the votes don't get thrown out this year. So we have to make sure that we are registered to vote and vote for Stacey Abrams, vote for Warnock. Make sure we vote for the other candidates. I like Nikita Hemingway. She's very good. She's been on our platform and she's articulated all the things she wants to do as a commissioner for agriculture. So we need to make sure that we vote for her. Charles Bailey, who's running for lieutenant governor, he is very good. People should go on and research what he has already done, for our community. So he's a very good candidate. If you look at the other person who is competing, against him, you don't really want him in there. So we have to do what we can to get him in there. We have Janice Laws also, who's running for the insurance commissioner. He's been to our group. He's spoken to us. He's really, really very articulate, and he understands what he should be doing when she gets in there. Like my sake mentioned earlier, people should do a little bit of work. The internet has made it easier now for us to be able to look up for any individuals. I personally, even during the primaries, I don't just go out there to just vote. I have to do my research, make sure that whoever that I'm voting for, that her goals or his goals are aligning with my goals, what I want for myself, my family, and my community. So these are some of the few names that I can think, right now. And I just say vote for, I'm a Democrat and I'm not, ashamed of it. So go out there, any of the Democratic candidates, you already know what they stand for. You go out and vote for them. So that's
blue. Vote blue, in other words.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, I want to ask this question of UD. UD, I had a young woman I met at the bank, and we were waiting to speak to a manager, so we started talking about the midterms. Sadly, she seemed very disinterested in voting because she feels that it's all rigged and her vote would not even matter. So there's no point in even bothering to cast her vote. What do you say to such voters? And can you do what can they do rather if they are blocked from casting their ballots in November? What are your recommendations?
Perfect. Thank you so much for that question. So I meet people like that all the time. I have a few people like that I know. And what I always tell them is if you are one person and we have 100 more people in your neighborhood that feel that way, multiply that times 10 for your zip code, your county, etc. All those one votes add up to a lot of people, and that makes an impact. A lot of local races are won by local individuals. Like we had, in my area that I live in was House District 105, Donna McLeod ran, and she's a Maverick, by the way. She ran her first time years ago. She actually lost by 200 votes. That is literally my subdivision. So all elections are local. They start local. They're impacted by local people, and people have to get out of that mindset that my vote doesn't count, because one person can impact 10 people or 100 people. I know that I have 100 people that I can influence deeply at minimum, right? All of us on this call have 100 people that we can influence deeply. So the five of us have 500 people that we can do direct touch to and influence heavily. That's called, in marketing, that's called your warm list, right? So we probably know more people than that. So we all have to get out of that mindset, because it's very dangerous. It is what gave us number 45. As
Yes.
immigrant women, we know that he was dangerous for us. He was dangerous for the Black community as a whole, and definitely the immigrant community. He wanted to ship us off somewhere, even though, mind you, we all came here of our own free will. So we just have to get out of that kind of mindset. And if you're African American, it's just as dangerous too, because we know he put all these judges on the court that are ready to get rid of all of our rights that have been written in the Constitution for us to allow. So one person thinks like that, drop that in the ocean, it can multiply. So we just need to encourage people not to think like that, educate them. If they're blocked from being able to vote, they need to go ahead and call the number, and I'll look the number up and put it in the group chat so I can share it with the group in a moment, so that they can go to the basically the Democratic Georgia voting website and call the number and let them know that their access to voting is being blocked. One place that Dr. Ego was talking about that she can go to is mymvpvotegeorgia.com. And that is where you will go and access all the information about whether you're eligible. Make sure your status is open for you to vote, as well as look at your Democratic candidates. And yes, no shame, we have to vote Democrat all the way down that list. So who are our candidates? The Democrats are our candidates. Doesn't matter their name, because we are in the midterm, so they're already been chosen for us. If you didn't do your job in the summer to vote for your person that you wanted, guess what? That person didn't win. So this is our slate of candidates, and this is who we need to support. That includes from Stacy to Warnock. Let me see, Jen Jordan, who's new, Nikita Hemingway, Janice Laws, who is a Maverick as well. Nikita's a Maverick, and everyone else in our House districts. Is very important that we gain some seats in the Georgia House, because Democrats are outnumbered in the Georgia House. It's all Republicans, and that's why they're able to incorporate all these Republican shenanigans that impact our lives locally. So we need to just encourage people to vote more, support your candidates more, and then run for office. If you know someone in your community that's amazing, they're smart, you do not need to be politically qualified. There's no qualifications. You have to be a citizen. Encourage that person to run. Support that person. Like Chief Ego said, give them money. Running a campaign is very, very taxing. You shouldn't also be a candidate, be the face of that candidate, and then be expected to go into your pocket, your own personal pocket, to finance your own campaign when you're going to be representing other people. Your community needs to give you that money, because you're going to be representing them. You're going to be working on their behalf and talking for them. So these are some things that I think is very important. And I know in our community, we don't know about that, because we've never been taught that. And I really thank Chief Ego for seeing the need and, pushing us all out there to go and get engaged. Because of Nigerian Women for Progress, there's about 3-4 other organizations that do the same thing in Georgia. And that's a great thing.
That is absolutely a great thing. Thank you, Chief Ego Queen, who must be obeyed. Ego Harley will call you. But when you call them,
I love it.
Okay, what haven't I done now? What should I be doing? So it's always good. There's an African proverb that says, I mean, we don't chew with all the teeth in our mouth. Sometimes it's just that one tooth of which that we need to motivate the rest of us to start doing. So that is wonderful. Now I have a question for Dr. Bola. Dr. Bola, I usually like to do early voting. I just cannot stand standing, in line if I can avoid it. If I have to, yes. It always, to me, is always good to vote early so I can avoid those long lines and not use it as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? That I couldn't go because there's just too many people, or life has happened to me, or whatever. For whatever the reason is that I don't vote. So my question to you is, why is early voting important for those who can procrastinate And is early voting safe? And what is the importance to know about any of the new rules? Because there's so many new rules about early voting. Talk to me about that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oh, you look amazingly queenly. Thank you so much for having us. Absolutely. In your question, you pretty much nailed it, procrastination. So the reason why we early vote is just that. How do we make sure we vote? So they give us a window. Unfortunately, the window is shorter now of when people can go out and early vote. So I'm encouraging people, go out and early vote. It is important. Once you get it out of the way, that allows you to do two things. One is to say, okay, well, now, no matter what happens, I already got my voting. The second thing is say, now I have time on election day, I can actually go out, door knock, encourage people, call people, get involved, get engaged, get engaged, get engaged. So it's important that when it opens up, which is going to be November 18th, if not sooner, if my date is correct, then go out and vote. Take people with you, like Sister Chief Ego said. Take people you know and say, let's go out, get in line early. And what I've noticed about early voting, it's not a whole lot of long lines. You can go early, you can go midday, you can go in the evening. But once you get there, it's just like I've always early voted. So I can avail myself on election day to go out, knock on doors. Well, I used to give people water to drink, but that's a crime now. So, we can't do that anymore, which is to me is crazy. You have elderly people or even tired people coming from work to go vote, and they're tired and they're going to stand in line for 2 hours. So the humane thing that we can do as a human being is to say, you know what, here's a glass of water, here's a bottle of water. And I've done the research. The Republican believe when they see us, they attach us to Democrats. So that's part of the reason why they don't want them to see us. When we like, oh, these people are so nice, they're giving me water, I'm going to go in and vote for Democrat. But you see, and again, everything they're doing is so calculated that anything that's going to put our face out there, and especially Black women, Black Nigerian women, that we're going to make sure we eliminate that. So it's very, very important to go vote. You have the opportunity to get in, get out, and know you've come. And again, voting it's our duty. We have to vote. It's not even debatable. It's not optional. We all have to get out and vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are going to take a quick break, commercial break, and we will return to continue our conversation with the most powerful women in Atlanta, Georgia, Nigerian Women for Progress.
Yes.
African Women Mobilization Commission, Child Sponsorship Program. Here at OMSI, we believe that every child deserves a chance to thrive, no matter who they are or where they live, and that opportunities help a child to develop and build precious imagination. A healthy and imaginative mind can see the possibilities of the future. And a child with a future can weather the storms of life if given the right tools and the chance. Sponsoring a child helps a child to eat, get an education, have good health care, and gain a friend and mentor in you. I know you want to know more. Sponsor a child by visiting AfricanWomenCommission.net. After all, a child is waiting. Register to meet your sponsored child today.
Welcome back to Ndumodu. Ndumodu means words of wisdom that I share with you to add to your repertoire. And of course, we've got some powerful sisters in the house, the Nigerian Women for Progress. We're going to continue our conversation with them, and they are feeding us with good information. If you are, and I'm going to say this to my sisters out there, there's so much mess, excuse the expression, going on. If you want to sit this election out, you're making a big mistake because, I will say this, my sisters, we all know it and you know that. Politics is where the decision is made.
Absolutely.
If you don't vote for the right people, they will determine what your life will be like.
Right.
Where your children will go to school, how the roads will look, what will happen to your community? So it's so imperative that we do not play with this. This election is approaching, and you know what? There are lots of individuals who are frustrated with the majority, party options. With the major party options. I don't want to vote for the Democrats. I don't want to vote for the Republicans, etc., etc. Now, as more Americans than typical battle over whom to vote for, it wouldn't be a surprise if more than usual we are considering just not showing up at all. Just not showing up at all. The voter turnout in the United States generally hovers between 50 and 60% for presidential election years, and a measly 40% for midterm elections. People who stay home or don't leave work to head to the voting booth on election day have their reasons, yes, but there are several other counter arguments for why you should vote. Now, ladies, I'm going to ask each one of you to give your own personal perspective, maybe an experience, something that you feel is a good reason for people to vote, for people to understand the importance of voting. Any one of you. Ego, let me start with you. Chief Ego.
Ego, too. There are two of us, so.
All chief. I'm sorry.
One is a chief.
And one is a doctor.
Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah.
Okay, what was the question again? Okay, what was the question?
Yeah, the question is, I want each one of you to give your perspective on why it is important to vote. Is there anything that may have happened to you? Any reason why you feel that it is so imperative to vote?
Okay. Ego, say, can I go first?
Yeah, sure.
So personally, for me, and this is just recently, but it's something that we have been working on for many years, is about the business we do, which is helping people with disability to integrate in their own community, to be part of the community. And it's something that is very close to my heart. I mean, I will do it anytime, any day. So transportation has been an issue, a big headache. And I know personally that it was an issue, especially in DeKalb County, which is a metro that a lot of people, it's very diverse. And you would think transportation will be for everybody. It was, but not for people with disability. People to come to our program, we had to pay out of pocket. And it costs a lot of money. I can't even tell you how much it costs. And it's something that we have been pushing and pushing and pushing, that it should not be monopolized by few companies that I'm not going to mention online, that it was monopolized. You have to go through them to be able to transport people with disability to go to where they want to go. So eventually, because people and you keep pushing and you keep pushing, finally we're able to have Medicaid to transport people with disability to be able to go to where they want to go. And this happened in June. It started in July, so we're excited about it. Again, it depends on who is your leader. Who can you approach? If you just put anybody that really don't understand that there are some people that doesn't have as much as they have, because it has been easier all their life from birth to where they are today, they don't have to sweat. Some people don't realize that there are some people that have to sweat to just be able to mobilize within their community. So it really something that I felt good about, because again, it depends on who is your leader at that time when you need things to happen.
Yes, wonderful. That is fantastic. Yeah. That is fantastic. Everybody's vote should count. And if you notice, I'm showing you Georgia information that you should have. If you have any questions as to what to do about your voter protection, Georgia voter protection line, 1-888-730-5816. Again, 1-888-730-5816. 5816 if you want to know about Georgia voter protection. All of us to take action today. You're getting a lot of information. I want to show you something else. If you want to find out if your registration is in order, because I had to go to make sure I was in order, because I keep getting this information saying that I'm voting Republican. I said, whoa, back it up. What's going on here? You know, so go to this online website and find out about your status. This is imperative. This is an imperative. Okay, so let's go to Dr. Okafor. Tell us your why you think that.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Owa. That's a very good question. And for me as a woman, my rights are really important. So if you look at what's going on, not just nationally, what the Supreme Court just did, but if you look at our state also, what the women have to go through. I mean, if that doesn't wild you up, what else will?
Right.
You know, taking away your right as a woman, I probably don't support so many things, but I think a woman has a right to choose what they think is best for them.
That's right.
So for me, that is major. That is major. And I don't want to take away what the other people on the forum might be saying, but if you look at what's going on with healthcare, look at Medicaid. We're trying to expand Medicaid in this state. You have the money to expand it, and look at what's going on. So those two. So when it comes to what pushes me is my right as a woman first, and also healthcare. If you do research about healthcare in Georgia, you will feel sorry for our state, really. Yeah.
That is absolutely. People need to ask themselves, why do I go to vote? That's what you're saying. Ask yourself, you got your personal reasons, but your personal reason must not be because you don't like the party. What party is going to win? So sometimes you have to take into consideration what's best for the nation, not just your personal, ideology and what have you. And how about you, Dr. Bola? What are your thoughts? What motivates you to vote?
Oh my God, mine is always my two amazing sons. Justice for me it's one of the biggest issues. The male, the black. And even with all of that, people don't see the amazingness of them. They see that blackness and the gender. And for me, I need someone that's going to be an advocate for my two sons. Not just my two sons, but every single black male in this country, in all the states. So if we are not getting engaged, if we're not pushing, because truth to be told, we all have a reason. Not just the people on the forum, every single person that is so involved, we have a reason for the involvement. We have the reasons for engagement. And for me, every time my son, when they leave home, as any mom will tell you of a black son, I'm awake until I hear that door.
Oh, yes.
When the one living with me, it's like, okay, morning we check in with each other. So for me, I need someone that's going to say, yeah, no matter what it is, they're going to get fair justice. And of course, we all know that is not the case. I can go down the list of so many black males that have been killed by law enforcement that they're still waiting for them to be brought to justice. So, we can't keep saying we don't have any reason to get involved. And
then we can't say that we're not, we're from Nigeria. So what? You live here.
Exactly.
Many of us are citizens.
Exactly.
We've got a responsibility to the nation where we live.
Absolutely.
Not to be the ones that take, we benefit from other people's work. We don't want to.
Absolutely.
And that's what this Nigerian Women for Progress is saying. We are part of this nation. We are part of the fabric of this community. And we must add our threads. You know what I'm saying? To create this. We cannot sit back and talk about it. My business, be about it. There are three kinds of people in this world. Those who make things happen, those who watch things happen. Of course, my brothers and sisters, we got those who say, what the heck happened? They don't want to know. They will want to know. And that's what Nigerian Women for Progress is saying. We got to know. We are part of this. We've got to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of this of this organization, because a lot of people that you have promoted have won. You don't win all battles.
Right.
But you have
Right.
won a lot. So your effort is not for nothing. So let me ask Yudi, your thoughts. What are your reasons for voting?
Thank you so much, Dr. Owen, for that question. That question is a loaded question. I'm going to go reverse because that's how my brain works. And I'm going to say every single thing that all the other ladies in front of me said is reasons that I vote. On top of that, we as Nigerians, you can't choose what your skin color shows up as, right? You show up as Black. In this country, you're Black American, African American. You're not white, right? So that is important. So why did I mention that? Because I'm a big sister. I have 3 brothers. I am a big cousin to lots of Black men, my nephews, etc. So they're all Black. They show up, that's how they show up. So as a Black person, what is important here in this country? We know that that SCOTUS is crazy. They're going through some mental issues or whatever is going on there, the Supreme Court, and they're willing to take away people's rights. So what is the right that's important, as all Black people should be concerned with, is the 15th Amendment. It was passed in Congress in 1869 and then ratified in 1870. It basically gave African Americans the right to vote. So all 5 of us identify and show up as Black African American, whether we like it or not, right? So if SCOTUS is having a little mental issue right now and they think they can take away people's rights, that is one of the rights that I have read that they are looking at and eyeing, as well as revoking citizenship. So all 5 of us were not born here, because I was born in Nigeria, in Akwa Ibom, in Uyo. It's in the south, right by Cameroon. I will be put up on there for possible revoking of citizenship. I paid my money. I was raised here. I am an American girl. I'm still spicy and Nigerian, but I'm American Nigerian, okay? So these are the reasons that I vote, okay? This is the reason that I tell all of the people from my place, other Africans that I meet, you have to vote, because you can't be here 15, 20, 30 years. You're driving the cab or you're teaching or whatever it is that you're doing, but you don't have your citizenship. Your voice is basically being quieted. You are paying money to the man to be quiet, to let other people rule you and tell you what you're going to do. When I went to DC a few years ago for the CBC, that's the Congressional Black Caucus convention, we took Uber because it was the best way to do. And I ran across, all my Uber drivers were African, whether they were Ethiopian, West African, whatever. And I always asked, the first thing I asked, I made sure that 10-minute drive was very impactful. I said, brother, sister, are you a citizen? All of them were no. One of them told me, I'm going to go run for office in Liberia. I said, but you've been here for 17 years. That makes no sense. You're going to lose. They are not going to vote for you in Liberia because you are an American person. Like all of our brothers and sisters, cousins that we know went back home and try to run, they lose, right? Because you've been too far removed from what's going on in your home country. You are an American by your, where you live. You can't take your ideas. Some of your ideas in America don't translate overseas. It just doesn't work that way. You're here. I'm like, you need to go. I encourage them to go and get their citizenship, so you stop paying these high taxes in DC, who's not even a state. Okay. DC is not a state, and that's the problem, because we have all these Africans and immigrants living there who are not even citizens, even registered to vote. So their votes are being not heard. So that was my message to every single Uber driver, who are all ethnic people. If you're not a citizen, don't talk to me. Just drop me on this corner, okay? Because why am I even talking to you? You're like, why? Don't talk to me like the same way you're not talking to the American government and letting them know what's important to you and your family. Don't talk to me either. So that was how I did things, and that is how I do things. We have to be kind of harsh with our immigrant brothers and sisters to let them understand you have to be registered citizen. You have to become a naturalized citizen. You have to do that so you can go and vote. It's very, very important. And that is what I do.
Oh, wonderful. You know what? Why do I vote? For the same reasons you've all given. And for the proverb of my people, if only not chuck off, what do you think, so shall you find? What do you want, Owa? You can't sit back here drinking coffee and sipping tea while somebody else is out there voting, and whatever the result is, The
It's
consequences you
what
have.
you take. Mhm.
So you have to go out there and vote and give support. If you're not going to do it, if you're going to go vote, grab somebody with you. You know, let's go. Let's do this. I don't want to hear that you can't go because this is a privilege. It is a privilege. There's so many people who can't vote for whatever their reasons are, and you can, but you don't want to go out there and vote because somebody says, "See, I don't listen to what people say about the reasons why I should or should not vote. I listen to the ones that say I should vote. Those who say I should not vote, that's your problem, not mine." You know what I'm saying? But don't complain now. But my sisters, there's something, there's an energy that's engulfing Nigeria right now. Nigeria is in the thrust of election next year. The youth of Nigeria are so energized. I tell you very honestly, I grab my coffee, I sit down, and I watch those videos coming from home. These young people are not
It's amazing. It's amazing.
time.
I'm obedient.
I'm obedient.
Come on now. You know, everybody seems to be obedient. I said, but on fire, I tell you this. I was watching this morning, 1 million man march.
Yeah.
In Enugu.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It had to be more than that on the streets. What are these young people saying to us? It's time for them to reclaim their heritage,
Absolutely.
their land, their home. They have a responsibility. You cannot, as we said it earlier, you can talk about what people are doing when you allow it. So my question to all of you, what message are you giving, regardless of who you're voting for? What message are you giving to those in Nigeria who are going out to vote? What message do you have for them? Let me get Dr. Bola. Dr. Bola, you get started. Dr. Bola, can you hear me?
Oh, something is wrong. Can I go on while she reconnects?
Okay, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah. You know, I've always been politically wired for some reason. I might appear quiet and all that. And but what's going on in that country? You know, when you talk about revolution, I talk with my friends and I tell them the only thing that will change Nigeria is if we have a revolution. I don't know if we want to have a bloody revolution. I don't know if we want to have a revolution like they had in Ghana. But this is what is needed because the lives of the youth are at stake in Nigeria.
That's right.
All these old people should go sit down. I'm sorry, I'm getting really wired up.
No, say it again.
All these people, when you think about it, once you get to 60 and start going up, you know, your mental capacity is not just the same. That's a fact. And you look at all these people who are in their 70s, some of them claim to be 70, but they're actually almost 90, or if not 90. And you want to run a vibrant country like Nigeria. Look at all the promises we have in that country. Look at all the mines we have in that country. So I am so happy personally of what's going on in that country. I am so happy that the youth have finally realized that they need to take it into their own hands and effect a change. And I tell you something, Nigeria, we have over 200 million people. When people talk about Nigeria or Nigerian Day, I say, hey, can we just hold a minute? Remember the population of Nigeria, we are over 200 million. It's like so many countries put together. Think about all the other African countries. It's like 40-something million, it's 30-something million, it's 50-something million. Nigeria is over 200 million. We have the capacity, we have the ability to do whatever. Think of all the Nigerians you know abroad. They are all in high places in different countries of the world. Number 45 went to, was it Finland or Switzerland? The only black person he saw was a Nigerian. So can you imagine if we bring all we've got to that country, what it will become?
Yes. Yes.
So I am moved. I'm like you. I'm stuck on the videos. I'm stuck on the million marches that are going on around. And gradually, the movement is creeping through the rest of the country. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to stop because I'm really...
You know, I tell you what's exciting for me. And I always say, you know, vote your conscience. Vote what your heart tells you. But you've got to ask your conscience the question. What is it that I believe? What is it that I'm thinking? If I make the wrong choice, who's going to be impacted? So it's not just me.
It's not just you.
People need us elders. You see, elders are important. Elders are important in society. But elders have their role to play. The future belongs to the youth.
Yeah.
The future belongs to the young people. You must activate the juices of the young and let them rise up.
And it's not a question of your tribe, your religion, because that is what has kept us behind.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Not bringing, you know, you thinking, oh, this is, you know, I mean, what the heck? You know, I have to vote for, I'm not going to vote for you because you are from my tribe. What do you bring to the table? That is what's important.
You know, we it's time for, you know what the young people are doing? They're making good trouble.
Yes.
They are making good trouble. Sometimes
John Lewis will be proud.
Yes. Let me ask our president, Chief Ndukwe. Tell me your thoughts. I know that you're squirming. You can't just
no, because my sake was saying everything that I want to say. But to be honest with you, the youth has been really pushing. But I felt like they finally get somebody that gave them the opportunity and ear to listen to. Yes. So I think we got that person that think and act like them. In the past, do you guys remember when a lot of the youth, just a few years ago, when they were all like massacred because they were protesting?
The answers.
The insights. I mean, how can we forget? The youth has always been pushing, but they has always been pushed back. So I'm excited because finally I felt like they are being listened to.
Yes.
Right now, they're also still scared because they're still thinking that the election will be rigged. At the end of the day, all this will happen and then the flag will be given to the wrong person.
Yes.
That is what we all need to be concerned about right now. Because if that happened, Nigeria will not be the Nigeria we all want to go to visit.
No, it would not.
That is really the main concern right now to me. Because the youth, yes, they are doing what they need to do. They are making sure. Before I didn't know what PVC is. Now I know that you have to have it to be able to vote.
Yes.
Which none of us have. I tried to get one from here. I realized that no, you can't. You have to go home to be able to get your voters registration.
That's right.
To be able to cast your vote, which is good. I mean, they are pushing it. They have pushed it to the point that they felt like they got it. But at the end of the day, we know how Nigerian politics work.
That's right.
They may just say, hey, forget all that. This is who we want. A few people will just take the flag and give it to the wrong person. And then I think the youth has been mobilized enough for them to be able to do something that may be crazy. I don't know what it's going to be, but that is really where I'm really concerned about, what I'm thinking or afraid that may happen. So at the end of the day, I'm hoping the electronic voting, they said they're going to try to do this year or next year, 2023, will actually be the case. And if that happened, then we'll be able to regain Nigeria for the younger population and for us, the senior citizens as well.
Yes. Yes, I mean, we have a lot to benefit. And that's why I say, let the young people get started. We benefit. We have the wisdom, share with them. And it's okay. It's okay because they're going to be in charge in the future anyway. We have nothing to lose. You know, we've done our part. You know, that's what we said. You know, so we've done our part. Let the young ones, you know, they have dreams and goals for the future. I'm going to let Dr. Bola have the last word. Dr. Bola, your thoughts?
Oh, I tell you, I can just sit and listen to my ladies all day long.
That's right.
You know, I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to get out what we do. The work that we do is so very important. And I mean this organization, because we've always been out there, you know, registering people to vote, knocking on doors, having fun, having silly, just enjoying the time. So my last word to my people watching, please get out and vote. I know you hear this, they always say this election cycle is the most important. Really, this is the most important. Look at what Michigan did. They wanted to what? Abolish abortion completely. No, we're not going to have any of that. So this is really important because there's so many things online. Our rights, our children's rights, I can go on. So please, if you need us, please reach out to us. We will help you find your polling place. We'll help you find where you can go and register early. Whatever you need for us to do. But I'm pleading with everyone listening to us, please get out and vote. Get out and vote and get out and vote, because let's get in good trouble, like John Lewis said. And this is good trouble because it's going to take every single one of us to make this happen for the Democrats. And like my sister Ego said, I am not ashamed to say I'm a staunch Democrat. So please get out and vote and let's bring it on. Thank you so much, Dr. Ho.
Thank you so much. And I want you to please verbally tell us, and I've been as you can see, it's been scrolling, but if there's an alternative of where you want people to get in touch with you, could you please verbally say it?
Sister Apple, I'm going to let you share how they can get in touch with us. I know you are our person. I know how can they get in touch with us.
I've been sharing Udi's phone number. If there's anything else, Udi, go ahead.
No, they can still, like you shared my business number. That is fine. They can call me at 470-407-9784 and let me know what the concern is, and I will find one of the members in the group or direct them to the appropriate information that they need to go to. But one of the great sites that you can go to for everybody in Georgia is, of course, georgiademocrat.org. That website has everything that you need to know. It has links to everything for state, your county, everything. So that's a great place to always send people to. And of course, the Georgia Voter Protection Line, as you've been scrolling it on there, their number is 1-888-730-5816. So call that number if you feel that you have been blocked to access the voting. That is the number that goes in. I believe Stacey Abrams, her organization, will work with the Georgia Democratic Party to get that number set up. It was not something that we had prior to 5 years ago. So call that number and report it. I volunteered on that number before. So people from Georgia are actually on that receiving end, taking calls and getting things done. So go vote and bring some more people with you to go and vote.
Just to add, my voter page is a really good place to go to because it not only tells you if you are registered to vote, if they've tried to mess with your stuff, but it gives you information about your voting place. Okay. You know, so you know exactly where to go vote. You know who you're voting for. So you're not getting out there and trying to, choose who do I vote. You already know. I usually will print mine out before I go to vote. So my voter page is really, really a good place for people to check on too.
Okay. Well, ladies, let me tell you this. It has been more than a pleasure to have you on this show. You have given me so much pride. Just reminded me how powerful it is to be a Nigerian woman, because we don't mess around. We put it out there, we let people know where it's at, and we go for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are and you have joined this show, thank you so much for joining us. Being introduced to where the powers that be. You have to know how to get in touch with them, and you know how to get in touch with me. I am Dr. Onyioha Osimiri, your host, the Ndumodu Show. Thank you for being here. And ladies, don't go anywhere. I would like to talk to you backstage. Thank you, everyone. For those
Thank
of
you.
Who posted,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, and thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
As the line member, Madam Chair.